Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler. Welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture. I am your host, Armon Sadler, the founder of Ball Nigga Ballers, the sultan of Short King Spring, the connoisseur of Calves Out, the Terramana terrorist.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm activated. I'm recovering, and so I'm activated to compensate for the recovery that I am enduring.
Talk about it.
Thankfully, I am here with some great people. I know I don't do the show alone. Co-host, Nic Earley.
What it is?
The great golden child.
Yeah.
How you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling hydrated, melanated, and elevated today. You know, I'm feeling really, really good. This might be the first of Stay Busy's histories where we have an irresponsibly responsible discussion today. Just given the vibes of the pre-show,
100% responsible.
given the powering
100%,
from Terramana here,
Yeah.
our good friend Terramana on the table here. This might be yes. But what's up, y'all? Nic Earley, co-host and executive producer, Stay Busy. Very, very glad to be here. We have some really, really hilarious brothers here.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, articulate yet hilarious. This is going to be very fun.
Timeline terrorists. Before we get into who our esteemed guests are, we want to thank our guests from last week, Active Entertainment Group's Seun and Kwa, for giving us a great episode. A lot of great insight for artist managers. Make sure y'all tap into that. Tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, of course. The button is here. So click that, like it, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Congrats to our guy, Nascent, on securing that Grammy.
Yes, sir.
Best melodic rap performance, Kanye West Hurricane, featuring
Turn that up.
Lil Baby and The Weeknd. If you haven't checked out our interview on Up Rocks, my debut, make sure you tap into that. Make sure you tune into All Busy Sessions. Episode 6 featuring Mia J is still available along with her performances, and we have previous episodes and our YouTube clips of the new music chat and other things from our episodes. So make sure that you subscribe to that. Once again, click the button. Got to shout out our executive board, Kieran Hurley, our VP of Everything the Man You Cannot See But You Can Feel, Shavonda Shields, our VP of Engagement, and Aaliyah Simone, our VP of Data and Analytics. Now, to get into our guest this week, these two gentlemen are very near and dear to my heart, one of my favorite group chats that I maintain a presence in. I've never told them this, but I think of them as the devil and the angel on my shoulder. And I'm going to let y'all decide who is who by the end of the episode. The first guy I'll introduce resides in Providence, Rhode Island, and wants you to debate the uglier you in the mirror.
All day, every
He's
day.
putting up numbers on the Up Rock staff, interviewing the likes of Majid Jordan, Money Long, Eric Bellinger, Nisha, Sid, and many, many more. He's also got
the resume
bylines
handy.
in Revolt, Pitchfork, and Two Dope Boys. Now, despite being or not being the devil on my shoulder, this guy's an amazing friend, a necessary presence in our writing community, and genuinely hilarious. Now, our second guest, young brother from New Jersey, who's probably eating more than your favorite writer. He's probably your favorite writer's favorite writer. He just recently became a staff writer at Complex, but also has bylines in Billboard, Variety, Vulture, Vibe, Kazi Magazine, and more. I love this guy because I see the passion in him that I see in myself. These two gentlemen are young, but doing more than people twice their age could even sniff. They're 2/3 of JAW, which stands for Journalists Always Working. We got Dennis Wongman and Jordan Jordan, a.k.a. Wongo, Okon, and Jordan Rose. My brothers, how y'all feeling?
The intro is crazy.
Fire intro. 10 out of 10. I like that.
Wow.
You know how I do.
That's tough.
This is a writer's pod.
Yeah.
Price went up.
How you doing?
I'm chilling, bro. Happy to be in the city. Happy to be on the show.
Yes, sir.
Happy to be with my niggas.
Yeah, man.
All that, bro.
It's lit.
a vibe. It's
How you
beautiful
feeling, Jordan?
outside. You know,
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, I don't drink this clear shit, but the clear shit kind of touching me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good.
Straight thoughterry
It's a
about to happen.
vibe, bro.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Absolutely.
Good. We have an amazing interview coming with our guests later on. But before we do that, I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Whether you like interviews or album reviews, drinking straight or mixing with juice, Apple Music or Spotify, and birthday song or no lie. Gentlemen, for the writers here, interviews or album reviews?
Ooh, interviews or album reviews? Damn, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
You know, I'd say obviously it depends, but like I think generally, you know, I'll let you answer first. That's tough.
I'm gonna go with album reviews just because I enjoy being able to like share my own perspective on a given project. When you have interviews, it's kind of like you gotta ask the right question to be able to get like a new perspective, or you know, sometimes you'll get kind of the same thing that they said in other interviews, but like with album reviews, that's just you. That's how you see the music. Yeah. And you know, there's a smaller chance of being able to, you know, get mixed up or have something similar with someone else. So yeah, just being able to show my own perspective.
Yeah, I feel like it's really close with me, but I'd probably say interviews just because I love like finding some real random specific shit that they may have brought up years ago in an old interview they forgot about. Or they've never even talked about that. Like, you know, when you ask somebody that and like their eyes light up and they're like, oh shit, like I didn't even think I was gonna be talking about this. That's always the dopest for me. And like seeing or listening back to my interviews when I'm transcribing them and hearing how an artist will slowly like open up over the course of like the interview, like by the middle point, they'll be like actually open for conversation and past kind of like the PR bullshit. That's always dope for me. But they're both really close, but I probably say interviews.
Okay. Wait, when you transcribe your interviews, do you listen to yourself ask the questions?
Like, so I kind of skip past my shit.
I'll be right over. I haven't heard myself talk.
A lot of people hate hearing themselves.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's bad. Unless I just make sure I get my question right. Because sometimes I'll be like, you know when you be freestyling, when you ask a question that's not exactly how you wrote it down.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
just in case I miss some shit when I'm writing it. But yeah, facts. I hate hearing myself ask the questions. That shit's terrible.
For you as an artist and as a reader, do you prefer reading interviews or album reviews?
Interviews for me because I like hearing the story. I like
directly from the source.
Yeah, I like to hear what goes behind songs or how we were talking about the record we're going to talk about in a second, like how that came together, right? That's something you get from an interview. You don't get that from a review, which is you know, it depends on the day, but like I love hearing the stories about behind the scenes stuff. So,
yeah, it's interesting. I think I prefer doing album reviews, but I because I feel like album reviews take a little more effort from my end. Like interviews, you prep for it. So what I do, I've talked about this before. I prep, like I watch their old interviews. I write a list of questions. The day of the interview, I don't look at the list of questions at all. I go all natural, like all freestyle the whole thing.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of prep goes into it, and then it's a conversation. And then it kind of writes itself, the interviews, I feel like. You just have to do the good intro, but then everything else is transcribing. Album reviews, you have to write, can conceive the whole thing yourself. And so I look at it more challenging. So that's kind of why I like album reviews a little more. I feel like they take a little more effort on my end.
100%.
Real quick, drinking straight or mixing with juice?
Listen, I drink Hennessy, so
that's a problem.
Let me just put that out there, okay?
Liver, bro.
This isn't sponsored by Hennessy, but I drink Hennessy, okay? Like for real.
Yeah.
So, like, nah, because you know the Henny, you know. I get it.
It gets a lot of slander.
I get
for
the
no
Henny
reason.
slander, you know what I'm saying?
For plenty reasons.
No, listen, I get it, you feel me?
Niggas
But
is forsaking their past.
That-
We all drink Hennessy.
Fuck the past.
We all drink Hennessy.
bro, you know you was fucking with Hennessy at one point in your life.
And when I found something better, I left that shit in the past.
Man, it's like, bro, Hennessy is like that family member where it's like, yeah, like they may have some fucked up opinions, but like that's
love
still
them.
your family. That's still your family.
Hennessy is not no family. Hennessy is like when you wasn't like as wavy as you are like right now as a person. Hennessy's like the girl that you could get for the type of waviness that you had. So once you leveled up your waviness, you left Hennessy. You left Hennessy, not Hennessy, the singer. Shout out Hennessy, the singer. Go
She's
stream
great.
All for Nothing.
It's out now.
But you left Hennessy and you went to something better like Duce. So you switched and you went light.
Yeah.
Like everyone should.
That's
do.
crazy. There was a girl, you know what? Actually, never mind. Back to your original question. Back to your original
That was gonna end so bad.
Next. Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Spotify.
Apple Music? Are you shitting me?
Y'all disgusting.
It's
I
big
got beef
Apple
with
Music
both,
over here, bro.
I got beef with both, and I switch between them like constantly.
I don't even have Spotify.
Apple be doing some like weird like shit, and it be pissing me off. And Spotify, it's too hard to like download songs that like MP3s and like mixtapes and stuff. But if I gotta pick one for the sake of the argument, it's Apple Music because that's what I'm fucking with right now.
Okay, all right. And lastly, 2 Chainz, I gave you some hell last week, so I wanted to make it up to you by talking about some of your classic records. Birthday song or No Lie?
That's a really good question. Like I don't know like where you got that, but that's a really good question. And I don't know why I have to pick between
Birthday song for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say
two beautiful things. But I think I'm gonna go with birthday song too.
Oh well, I guess I'm in the minority here. No Lie for me. Maybe it's the Drake bias though. It could be the Drake bias.
I was gonna say it's definitely that.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Ooh, I
whatever.
almost this.
Let's jump into our chat. So the Grammys occurred last week. Actually didn't watch any of it because it was WrestleMania Sunday. And I was lucky out at the bar.
Vibes.
So how did y'all feel about the Grammys, gentlemen?
Gentlemen, I didn't watch it.
I've learned to keep my expectations with the Grammys really low. Like I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 people that I'm like, they should win this. If they win this, I could give a fuck less about what else happens.
Right.
Jasmine won her awards.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Very happy for
I
her.
was like, you know what? That's cool. I wish WizKid would have won, but he didn't. But outside of that, performances were cool. Shout out to everyone that won. But yeah, it's just another award show to me at this point.
Man, listen. Man, yo, Cole got nominated
Oh, brother.
in every rap category. Every one of them, all 5. He was nominated for a different song off season. And I didn't think he was going to pull all of them. But the fact that he didn't win one really grinds my gears.
What's the one that he should have won?
He should have won the one that fucking Family Ties won. What was it? Was that Song of the Year?
Rap performance.
Oh,
remember
rap
the
performance.
performance.
Best rap performance. I'm bugging.
I think. I don't know.
But you know
Shout out
that
Kendrick.
it grinds my gears. But like you just said, I fuck with Jasmine. I'm really glad that she walked away with Hardware. That was dope. The Grammys are like, it's funny to me because it's like, every year it feels like it's the same fucking discourse. Like, oh, the streets don't give a fuck about the Grammys until you win a Grammy, and then everybody gives a fuck about the Grammys. You feel me?
It always matters.
Like niggas can always say they don't give a fuck about the Grammys until they're nominated and win one, and then they're up there on the stage talk about some. They was all gonna wonder what I was gonna do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. So it's like, it's interesting, but I missed it too. I didn't even watch the shit live this year.
Isn't that crazy that we've missed it and we don't? It's not like, oh shit, I feel like I missed
They
out.
waited
It's just
too
like,
long.
It's whatever.
It's just too long.
Yeah, and it was a busy ass
that shit
weekend.
was supposed to been
Final
happen.
Four, WrestleMania,
Facts.
something else was going- Dreamville
Dreamville
Fest.
was that Sunday
that's
too.
nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
It was too much.
But yeah, shout out to Silk Sonic too. Clean sweep. They won
Facts.
every category they were nominated for. Glad to see Jasmine win.
Shout out.
Happy for Nasan. And Nasan actually echoed your sentiment. Like him being an independent producer, didn't sign a publishing deal. He's like, of course you want a Grammy. You want that recognition. Like whoever says that they don't care is
They're
cap.
lying.
Right. So
They're
to
lying.
hear it from someone who has kind of rejected all of the industry norms, but is still playing the game, it's like I know everyone cares.
Right.
Everyone cares. You have to.
Literally.
That's the music Super Bowl.
It is.
Everyone plays a sport to win.
It is. Come on now.
Like so,
it.
yeah. It's an interesting conversation, but yeah, the Grammys happen, I guess. New music. What a fucking release weekend! So much is out. We're not going to be able to touch on everything, but we're going to touch on a lot. Let's begin with Be It featuring J. Cole, London single. How do we feel about London, fellas?
Slap.
Don't let me start. Woo! Man, that boy Cole, yo, Cole gave B a 48 bars, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking crazy, bro. Man, where do we start? Like, yo.
Let's start with Bia's part because Cole's verse is out of here.
Yeah.
Bia, the hook was cool to me. It like not. I like Bia's album, like her actual deep cuts. Like I enjoy her music on that side. Like to me, this was like it was cool. Like it was nothing. It was neutral for me. I had a neutral reaction to this song from her end. But Cole sent it to the next planet over.
Yeah.
I was sitting at work today, rewinding, dissecting the bars. I was like, nah, I gotta read this. I gotta read this out.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason it's him. I said last week, it was just a clear separation to me on D-Day. That's why I was like, on it. It was just like everybody else, Cole. when he rapped, and it was just clear. And for me, it's just like there's a reason he's him. There's a reason he's. It's like, dude, you're getting better.
That's
You're getting
what
better?
Eve tweeted that. Eve tweeted that this week. He was like, "Yo, it's crazy. Cole is getting better." It's like, this nigga's like 10 plus years in.
Oh, you're getting better.
Multiple albums in.
It's really wild.
Still bringing it. He's still
a crazy
hungry.
performer too.
Yeah, his live, he's incredible.
It's crazy.
One of the best live performances I've ever seen.
Nigga said on DJ, nigga said, that's why I treat a drive through the hood like a walk through the woods. Got a stick that I take with me. Bro, listen, bro, listen. If y'all don't know, I'm a Cole stan. That's my guy. It's GOAT, you know what I'm saying?
You get the agenda
Kendrick
off.
here.
And, you know, that verse, like, bro, like, Cole's really, like, on a feature run that is something crazy.
Another one.
Bro,
another feature
this Water Boys, like, bro, he's been the Johnny P's caddy with fucking Benny,
stressed with Thug,
like even fucking Poke It Out while like,
yes.
Oh yeah, that verse was fire.
Feel me?
That one shouldn't be forgotten.
Yeah,
that one too. That's a good ass verse.
He's been going crazy between albums, and it's like, yo, like he started in the off season, bro. It's like I was rewatching the doc recently, and he said at a point he was like, you know, he asked himself, where does he want to go? And if he ended shit right here, if he stopped his career right here, would he be happy with the level he reached? And he was like, fuck no. And the nigga just went back to the lab and went crazy. And you can really hear it in these verses. Like, and especially even the things he's specifically saying. Like we was talking about this earlier before we started recording, like on Water Boys, and he was like, please don't get it fucked up from this homeless aesthetic. It's almost like how Hove, like he hears, like Cole and Hove aren't really on social media.
But they see everything.
Like they know, like they hear the comments, the memes or whatever. And I love when like niggas subtly not even subtly address it in their verses without like having to send a tweet out or nothing. Nah, it's like, nah, I heard what you said, and I'm gonna give it to you in a fucking bar.
Address it on wax.
I'm gonna make money while I address it.
Always address it on wax.
As they should. But
you're a rapper. Rap about it.
Right. And that's why I loved J. Cole on London. Like he absolutely killed that verse. It was crazy. I thought he was just gonna lay like 12 or 16 and like 16, keep it moving, and then he just kept going. And he didn't stop. And I was like, oh shit, like he went out of here. I'm cool with BS4. I'm not really like I fuck with it. And that track to me is like a big thing, like coming out of New England. Like she's from Mass. One of the producers on the song, Aziz the Sheikh, he's also from Mass. So like that's a dope ass moment for like the region. But yeah, like I was saying before we started, like I love that Cole is rapping like he's not homeless. Like there was a truth. I've tweeted it. I've said it. Like I'm not even gonna back down. Like I love that he's not doing it because it's like I get the humble thing. Like definitely be humble. Like don't be on some like, you know, just over braggadocious shit. That's fine. But like nigga, we know you got it. We know
100 million still on the grind.
That like I don't have a whip. I just bike through the city. Nigga, come on now. Stop playing with me. Stop. So like I like that he's now getting into this like, you know what? Like I am what I am, and I've done what I've done. Like let me just be proud of that, and let me let you niggas know what I've done. Yeah. So this like feature run, love it. Been enjoying it, and I hope it's not another phase. Like just do the features, nigga. It's okay. Like you don't have to be this like secluded shit.
And you know what I fuck with even more too, and I hate that it always has to come back to the Six God. But you notice how non-British artists are kind of it's now more
Top Boy in it.
It's more cool to adopt the British flow, like when Drake was doing it on War, on fucking Only You Freestyle. Not even before that, niggas was kind of shitting on him. This and the third for him adopting that kind of grime type of flow, and Cole Fake kind of did it a little bit, not to the same degree that Drake did it, but I like how it's more accepted now, like niggas, because and maybe I'm in the minority, but like the way that Drake was rapping on War and Only You Freestyle, I really fucked with his British flow. Like Warrior.
Like the Only Freestyle,
Shit is heat, you know? I'm down to hear more of that, kind of that more integration. You know what I mean? I think that's dope.
Yeah. So Cole, we had an interesting conversation before we got recording, Nic said that one of his favorite rap singing duos was J. Cole and Miguel, to which Wongo presented some opposition. So I wanted to open. I wanted to open the floor to have this discussion, and I want to throw my own rap singing duo out before we dive into it. Drake and Party Next Door. But go ahead.
See, that's way better than those two.
Do your thing.
I would take music from Drake and PND over. Cole was talking politics on Come Through.
That's one verse.
That's a loss. That's a loss of a whole song. I don't want the song now. Now y'all got two songs.
Let's find a comparable singer though. To Miguel.
Ooh. Wait. Why can't PND be in the conversation?
To Miguel though?
Thank you.
I don't know.
It's not so much about like singing ability that like makes it. It's just good songs.
We can compare the rap singing duos, but let's compare apples to apples. Because PND can't sing nothing close to Miguel.
But that like Miguel's singing ability.
It's a different. To me, it's a different type of rap singing duo. It's a conscious, if you will, not conscious rapper, but like Cole type rapper. He's his own type. So Cole-ish with the Miguel-ish type sound. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, in that case, it would be like Division is in there, but Division don't really do features.
Division. Yeah, they don't have enough collabs, which is crazy.
Where's their next project at, man?
It should be coming this year.
Don't sleep on it.
Should be coming this year. They've been promoting heavy, and they're managed by Love Renaissance now. So like, I think they're gonna be pushed even further than they should have been. But let's jump into this next track. Jack Harlow, First Class. We saw snippets appearing all over social media of him sampling Fergie's Glamorous, and the song finally released. I will say, I like it. It was a little underwhelming. I expected more from it. And I'm not as excited for Jack Harlow's upcoming album, Come Home, The Kids Miss You, as I was for what was the first one called? I forget what it was called.
That's what they all say.
These singles aren't hitting for me like What's Poppin' and Tyler Herro were. I like Jack, but this track, it was good. It's not great. It's good. Just good. How about y'all?
Man, with Jack, I fuck with Jack. I fuck with Jack heavy, and I really want him to succeed. But I feel like and I think this happens often with like artists who had a really crazy moment, and then like they're able to follow it up with like just being a dope personality, so they don't like fizzle off even when they don't release music.
Yeah.
So Jack is like this kind of social media figure, and also he makes good music. And also he has like this team of drama behind him. So he has like this veteran mind of knowing how to maneuver shit. So he knows what he's doing. Okay. But I feel like there's this crazy pressure of like following up the What's Poppin', Tyler Herro, and like Route 666. Like there's a lot of tracks on that album that really performed well.
Already Best Friends.
Toured well.
Love Is Dro.
And I feel like Love Is Dro is heat.
Yeah.
Even the joint with him and Adam Levine was heat off that album.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like and because now that there's so many more eyes on him because he's this like social media personality.
Grammy nominated too.
Grammy nominated, has so many more followers now, has gotten recognition from the likes of, he was on Donda too. So like, he has all this shit. I feel like there's really a lot of pressure on him. Yeah. And like sampling this shit, he has the money for it. So it's like, it was mid, I agree. Like I think it was kind of mid, but it was like, it couldn't be an L because it was sampling fucking Glamorous. You know what I'm saying?
Someone on Twitter said it's going to go off when they play Fergie's song and then they mix Jackson, like in clubs or parties or something. I was like, okay, I can see that. Yeah. That song without the sample though, it would be whatever.
Yeah.
Like the sample's kind of carrying it.
I think it's just fine. It's calm. I like Nail Tech more. I actually really fuck with Nail Tech. But yeah, he did what he had to do with the sample. It worked. I'm sure it's the fourth song on the album. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it fits with the rest of the album, like transition wise and like content wise too. But yeah, it's something I could listen to, and yeah, it's whatever.
Word. Chloe, her next track, Treat Me. Great video she put out.
Jeez.
Great video.
Talking about Chloe?
Man, yo.
Chloe Bailey, man. The song was all right. It's all right.
That was a crazy intro to that shit.
Her tracks recently have not been giving for me.
Are you got in that bag? It's not giving.
It's not giving. It's not.
It's giving one thing, but it's not giving.
Yeah,
another
like,
thing.
It is giving one thing for sure.
It's
giving
giving
Chloe.
one great thing, but I don't know. It's just like I said this before. She's an incredible singer.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
incredible singer. Yes, she's beautiful, great body, and they're pushing that and they're making music that I think accentuates that. But she can get very far just singing
Off the
as
craft.
well as she does, I feel.
Off the craft.
And I think they're memeing and gimmicking the sex symbol nature
Yes.
that she has.
Yes.
That's my personal take. And I have
Yes.
no problem with women expressing their sexuality. That's amazing. But she's more than that. And it feels like they're only focusing on that and trying to push that. It's my perspective. Y'all can go.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It feels, I think there's no ramp to it right now. I feel like it was her and her sister, and then all of a sudden she went solo, and
And she drops her
just
her challenge.
cheeks everywhere.
What was that challenge from last year called? The busted challenge?
Praise
Oh,
God.
yeah.
She drops that, and then they just like, oh, well, we got something here. Let's run
You know
with
what I'm
this.
saying? I feel like she wants the throne. We can see it in her eyes. She wants the throne, right?
Yeah.
And it's hers alone off the singing ability.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Right?
And she can dance.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. I feel like I want to be led on more of a journey as well. It feels from 0 to 100, like 1,000 really fast. That's for me. It just feels like
I
it's
agree.
just like really quick. I mean, some people could rock with it, some people not. But I feel like she's just, like you said, the gimmicky thing, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't reduce it to gimmicky because it feels purposeful.
Yeah.
But
It's just too much.
yeah, to me, I'm just like, yeah, it's great. Like,
It's weird
hey,
'cause she's fine.
But
It's like I'm not complaining, but it's like
yeah, but it's
she's
like the
more
song's
than
not
that.
hitting too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. What y'all thought?
I mean, like, I feel like I like what Armon said about, the memes or like leading the charge. I feel like, in like her rollout plan, it's like the social media push is at top priority, which I mean, I understand.
It's 2022.
Yeah, I get it from an analytic and spec standpoint. Facts. Like the more interactions you get via social media, whatever, however social media can take a song, take a visual, and push it, will keep your song living longer. Which I understand. Like Busted had a crazy shelf life. Half because of the song, I think, and half because of the challenge and the meme and everything that went along with it. But then I think, what Nick was saying, I think is facts. Like, it comes to the question of like, well, how much are we relying on this? And does it supersede the music at a certain point? It's tricky, bro. Like, I don't know. She's so fine too that I feel like it's really fucking up my perspective of it. Because like from my perspective, I'm like, yo, I fuck with the music, and plus you're really fine.
Yeah,
like you're really fine.
It's weird to like complain about this, and we're not complaining. It's just like we recognize she's multifaceted, and it feels like they're focusing on one facet.
Facts.
And why would you? It's like the analogy I made when Steph was here. If you're a big man who can play the post and shoot threes, why would you only play the post when you have another way to score?
Yes.
She has multiple ways she
For
can
what
score.
it's worth, though, like especially going back to like her first single, "Have Mercy," it's working. Like that song did well, like radio wise, like,
Commercially, it's
yes,
working.
it's working. So like
narrative wise, though, the narrative around her is a little mixed. It's a little mixed.
So it's I so at least for this song, I like it more than "Have Mercy."
Me too.
I think I'm cool with the hook. I think my favorite parts are like the verses and stuff. Like I didn't hear any of the verses. I don't know if she teased any of them or like any of that, but all I heard was the hook through like the TikTok videos and stuff. But I like what she did in the verses, and it's a step up. I see her as in this really like phase of just really wanting to express herself and just be, her, and just let everyone know like this is me. Boom. Whether that why there's such a focus on that, maybe because she feels like she's held it in for too long and like she just wants to be this, or whatever the reason. I'm cool with it for now. I want to see how it ties together with the project.
Facts.
If she drops a project and like all of this makes sense, I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I might have been lost in the first half, but like the second half, you did what you had to do.
Yeah.
But the way I kind of see it is, it's a step up from "Have Mercy." Fine. And I'm not talking from this Chloe's my wife thing. Like, please don't look up my name and her name.
It's crazy.
His name is Where's Wongo?
No. I don't.
Where's
no.
Wongo?
By the time this drops, I'm gonna deactivate, so it doesn't even matter. But real shit, like I see the step up, and I hope it continues to be a step up. I would have loved maybe a little more of a step up, but I see it, and I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, like do what you got to do, like. I definitely think there's like a social media like angle to like
100%.
That's definitely
It's
in
obvious.
mind. I don't know if it's like the foundation and like the middle of everything, but it's definitely in mind. I think for everyone it's in mind. But yeah, let me see you drop this project, and then if it's mid, then I'm gonna have to come clean about my beloved, my dearest Chloe. But if it's not,
Honesty is key,
then
my brother.
Ooh, my wife did it right.
Let's jump into these Lil Baby tracks. Lil Baby dropped 2 new singles right on and In a Minute. I believe it was In a Minute that had the Pound Cake sample. Or In a Minute had the Pound Cake sample. I've made my feelings on Lil Baby very obvious on the podcast, but to any new listeners who might be listening, I think he's great. I just think that I need another project to really solidify him in where people are putting him, and he's getting a little stale to me. Like the it's not elevating. He's been kind of the same guy. He kills his features. His features are great, but I want something different at this point. He's been in the game for 5 years, which is crazy to think about, like, because he feels new still, but he's been around for 5 years. I've been listening for 5 years. So me personally, I need something new from him. I saw the elevation in 2020, but at the end of the day, his songs, even with the Pound Cake sample, they still sound the same. Like, his production's great, but it's not. Like, we get more of Lil Baby, more different Lil Baby on his features because he's jumping into other people's worlds. But musically, I don't feel like it's elevating much, me personally. So I thought these songs were good. Like, I enjoyed these, but I still think I need something different from Lil Baby.
I think his next project will be that elevation because,
I hope so.
Like, I mean, when I listen to like the Lil Baby on like All of a Sudden, and then I go to the Lil Baby on like Fit In or like Life Goes On or like that's a step up, and then you go from that to I like his Street Gossip project a lot. I think
me too. Yeah, very slept
on. So that's a step up in its own, and then My Turn as well. I think My Turn was constructed and like put together really well and like very easy to listen through. Also being just you're also impressed by like just the work that he put in and like the different directions and like how he's able to pair himself with different people. Like you have a Uzi track and then right after you have a track with Wayne and like he doesn't fall off his mark. I think his next project is definitely going to be that step up. In a Minute, out of the 2 tracks, In a Minute is my favorite. I like Right On. Right On is cool. But In a Minute, I'm sure the Pound Cake sample helps, but I just like the way he's flowing, the way he moves through the track, like that. I love it. And that has been the song. Like out of everything that dropped this weekend, that's been the song that's been on repeat for me. So
yeah, it's good. Like it's kind of like I like pizza. I don't want to eat pizza every day unless it's
I do
different. And it feels like he's giving us the same slice of pizza. Maybe he'll put some pepperoni on it. Maybe there's some sausage on it. But it just feels like I'm eating pizza every day, hearing from Lil Baby. So I just want, bro, why don't you make calzone? Make.
I'll take sauce and dough, but just
right.
I get what you mean.
Give me something a little different. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like him, like what would make him reach another level for me at least is like kind of like what you were saying before, Armon. I just feel like he needs to like at least experiment with a different kind of flow. Because one artist that comes to mind that I think did this and really elevated in a different way was 21 Savage recently. Like the features that 21 Savage has been on, like on the mid Roddy Ricch album, on another
Thank you for calling it mid.
On another joint, I forget what it was. But
he's on Gunna's album.
Gunna's album.
How you did that? How you did that?
Yo, like the feature, like
it was a great song.
21, he's finding different pockets, different flows, ways that he's rapping that I've never heard him rap like that before.
Right,
and 100%. I fuck with it. It makes me excited to hear a new verse from him because I don't know how he's gonna rap. I was going into these 2 songs knowing exactly how Lil Baby was gonna rap.
Bro, it's so weird to me when people get excited over Lil Baby snippets. I'm like, nigga, you've heard this before.
I know
Like,
exactly
But
how
because
he's gonna
it
rap.
slaps, though.
It slaps. I know
It's
exactly
not different,
what
bro.
he's like. I know exactly how he's gonna rap, and I just want him
You're right,
to. And I think that maybe it goes hand in hand with like, how he performs, because he also needs to improve as a performer. Like I've seen him perform live twice, I think, and both times it's like. I feel like what elevates stars and superstars is being able to rap without a backtrack. Like being able to rap your shit without like just kind of lip syncing it, and I'm listening to the song, just listening to the song, and you like there.
Yeah,
I feel like once he's able to kind of master that too, like actually rap his shit.
He's a great performer too.
Yeah.
You've seen him live.
Yeah,
He's a great
yeah.
performer.
Like those things I think will really help elevate him. And I mean, clearly these two singles, I think he said on social media recently, like he's going to be dropping a lot of music soon.
It's a baby summer.
In preparation for what I'm assuming is going to be
Small infant summer.
another project. So, and I was a nigga who I didn't hate Voice of the Hero. I know a lot of niggas hated Voice of the
mid.
Hero.
Niggas hated that?
Niggas,
was
look,
mid.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was
mid.
cool. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. And I'm so excited to hear more of him. Voice of the Hero.
It was very mid.
We're going to speak about that later.
Let's finish up with some album talk. So Coi Leray dropped her debut album, Trendsetter.
Listen.
Features from Young Blue, Young M.A.,
Shout out Coi Leray.
and
shit
Her
was
was on
cool.
there. A lot of people on there. I'll say I really like this album.
I fuck with it.
I really like
fuck
That shit
with
was
it.
cool.
I
Like,
fuck with it.
I featuring Young Blue.
Yeah.
I've had that shit on repeat. Overthinking with Her is phenomenal. Blick, Nicki Minaj. I am big Blick Hive. Great album, Coi Leray. Fellas, how y'all feel about it?
yo, that look, and I'll be honest. I was coming in a hater. I was coming in like, I was coming in a hater. I was like, here we go. Like I'm gonna listen to it because I gotta listen to it. But like I wasn't really expecting nothing. I was like, okay, Coi. First song was like mad somber and shit. I was like,
Yeah, Hollywood Dreams.
I was like, whoa, Coi talking some real shit. Then we're going through. I'm hearing some verses from Young M.A. I love Young M.A.
Yo, she spazzed on that.
She was
I've never heard Young
spitting
M.A. on a beat like that
type
either.
shit.
That was dope.
Even fucking another random favorite of mine was Mustard Interlude with A Boogie.
A Boogie, yes.
She I was pleasantly surprised by this album. Like I really was like, I thought I wasn't gonna fuck with it, and then I was like, I fuck with this.
OD.
Shout out to Coi Leray.
See, I ain't go to it as a hater because I knew what the fucking vibes was Coi Leray. Like the EP that she dropped at the end of 2019, I fucking forgot the name, but it has Gunna on it, Kiana Ledé, 7th Street. That
project.
EP is mad fire.
It's a good
So
project.
like before the whole No More Parties, all that, like I knew how Coi was coming with it. She had a really good year last year,
huge year.
and I just wanted her to see her follow it up really well, and she did. The song with Young M.A. is fire.
Moving Mountains.
Yes, my personal favorite is I forgot the name. It's the one right before Twin of Them. It's got like this super smooth guitar string on it. Hold on,
I'll pull it up.
Heartbreak Kid. There you go.
That's a good one. That's
yeah,
a good one.
yeah, that is my favorite.
It's like
so
a
far.
4-song run
Right.
with that in it.
Yep.
That I really like.
Heartbreak Kid, Twin of Them, No More Parties, and then she has the $1 Million Worth of Game thing, which was dope to hear. On that as well.
the Nav agenda.
No. Okay, so it's
The
three.
Nav
It's a
agenda.
3-strong,
Clingy.
3-song string. We're not.
Clingy is incredible.
No. Anyway.
Eminem wishes he could rap like Nav.
Yo, shit. Yo.
You gotta stop
But
making music.
yeah. I knew Coi was gonna put together a really smooth project.
Jersey.
And
Did you though?
yeah, I did. Bro, I've never it's been like everybody be hating on Coi and I'll be like, all right, cool.
I don't know why.
I'm not saying
I really don't
hate,
know why.
But did you think she was
Yes,
gonna
bro. After I heard the last EP, I was like, bet
Yeah.
I know how Coi is sliding. Like I have. Why are you looking at me like that?
Man,
I knew how it was. Like I never know.
Jordan, you about to lose your jersey card, my brother.
Bro, and that's a no. And let me, you know what? Let me you right.
Coi from Boston
Hold
too.
on.
Coi
There you go.
from Mass.
Shout
so
out
that's
Montclair.
New England. You know the vibe.
Shout out Montclair. Cause look, and let me set the record straight. I fucked with Coi back in like 2018 when she dropped. Oh my god, I forget what the fucking song was.
It was viral. I forget
Yeah,
the name
like-
too because I wrote about it.
Yeah, Mal on a hard ass beat.
Yeah.
Capper.
Stop that. She lived in Montclair. That's Jersey's finest. I fuck with Coi. I did come in as a hater, like I said, because
coming in as a hater is crazy.
because of like I'm gonna keep it a bean.
Coming to you as a hater.
I'm gonna keep it a bean, but that's why I was playing season. It's like,
my God.
bro, it's like this, right? If I'm coming into a game shooting 30% on some Jaylen Brown shit.
But she wasn't shooting 30.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
If I'm coming in like that,
Saying
but,
Koi is shooting 32% is crazy.
and then, but then
That's- yeah,
I put
first
up
of
a
all-
crazy string of games like he did at the end of the season.
Man.
You can't fault me for being like, I'm surprised
Don't
he play
even
like this.
let me get started with the Knicks or the Nets. Like
Yeah, this is crazy.
I'm a
leader.
Bulls
This
fan.
is crazy.
Oh, the Bulls?
But-
you
but-
niggas is falling apart.
Yo,
Anyway.
She's
We're not talking about this right now.
Oh, yeah, now we're not talking about them
32%.
no more.
That's disrespectful.
Talking Russell
Koi
Westbrook
was not
numbers.
shooting no 30%.
That
No,
is
she was
insane.
not.
Let's
She
move
went
on.
back to back with
Shout
no
out
more
Corday,
parties
bro.
and
Bro,
the song with
come on.
Pusha Ice-T. And that was after she had the
Bro.
fire ass EP.
That song
And
with
you
Pusha
niggas
Ice-T,
was asleep.
bro.
I was trying
Hashtag
to
free
let
Pusha
you.
Ice-T. But that song with Pusha Ice-T,
purr.
bro, please. Like,
Do I personally listen to it? No, but it did well on the charts.
Jordan is wild, and let's finish up. Sid dropped her latest album, Broken
Yes,
Hearts
sir.
Club. What
Talk
a
about
fucking
it.
album!
That's a
This
slide.
album is great. I've
did
listened to
well.
it multiple times since it released. It is phenomenal. Saiba with Lucky Day. Could you break a heart? That shit is fire.
right track with Shmino?
Falsetto?
was on right track with Smino, the
Falsetto?
Kehlani joint.
Break My Heart, Why Don't You?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kalani one was fire too.
Yeah, nah, Sid's spaz. Like this, it's early, but Dawn FM and this are my favorite projects to drop this year.
Ooh.
That's a
Dawn
statement.
FM and Broken Hearts Club, my favorite
Okay.
albums to drop this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dawn FM is still my album of the year.
Album of the year.
With DS4 right behind it.
Gasoline, baby. The gasoline is
Out of time.
generational.
I heard you're married now.
Here
Is
we
there
go
someone
again.
else?
Don't break my heart. Don't break my heart.
Best
Sacrifices, nigga. What? Dawn FM. Yo, all y'all hating on Dawn FM.
That
Y'all,
nigga-
y'all listen to two genres of music, and y'all judging some '80s groovy dance shit because y'all listen to rap and hip hop. Expand your palette.
On top of that nigga Abel is fire with it. You wish you
is.
could be as fly with it.
Yeah.
I wish I could be as fly with it.
Toxic King.
Stop disrespecting my mans up there in the six.
They be wildin'.
They do it different
They be
out
wildin'
there.
on Toronto
They do
niggas.
it different out there.
That's facts. But wow, what a chat. That's our chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into our employee of the month, who I think Wongo knows very well. Going to give a big shout out to our guy, Dante Nicholas. Shout out to Dante.
Hey, my guy
Yes, sir.
Dante.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, turn that up.
For those who do not know, Dante Nicholas is a photographer, marketer, writer, and social media strategist for UpRocks. You can hit up all things
Multi-hyphenate.
Dante.com for his personal blog, his photography, and everything that he does. Do you have any words you want to share about Dante?
Hey, Dante is my guy. I remember the day he popped into the fucking UpRock Slack, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like we really about to be lit now." Like, and you know, in our time with us, he's been doing a really good job. He exponentially like increased like you know the following and attention on our Instagram account. I don't know the numbers, and I don't want to say it to fuck it up. But outside of that, like Dante's a very well mannered dude. He's a phenomenal photographer. He just did some shots with, I think it was Glass Animals that he posted, and those
Yeah.
are super clean. But yeah, Dante, I want to see my guy Dante win all the time. So
Yeah. I'm glad Twitter connected us. So once again, shout out to our employee of the month, Dante Nicholas.
turn up for Dante. I don't have anything in my cup, but
Let's jump into our slide deck. Franco, we talking, brother? Now, before we get into our interview with our incredible guests, we have a very fun game for them. This is
Shit,
dun
I
dun
don't
dun.
I don't like
this
it.
wasn't in the email.
It was not in the email.
This wasn't in the email.
And here it is.
Welcome to the first ever Stay Busy Spelling Bee called Too Busy Spelling. We got writers here. Writers be out here using words. Let's see if niggas know how to spell said words. Feel me?
With the
Before
help
we
of
even get
Terramana.
I am 70% dependent on Grammarly.
I
So
was
whatever
about to say the same
happens, that's why it happened.
Shout out to Grammarly.
Well, we're gonna get into Grammarly later, but
Let me explain the rules first.
please, go
so
ahead.
we may or may not get to first 3 points, but we'll just go with it. First to 3 points wins. So if we're going to give someone a word, the other person has the chance to steal the word.
Okay.
So if I give Jordan the word computer, right, and you don't get it right for whatever reason, Wongo has the opportunity,
and I'm gonna spell that word right.
And spell it right.
That I
get
got
a point.
Yeah.
So at this point, I just feel like first to 3 wins or first to whoever has many points. We don't have that. We have a few words on here, so we'll see how we get there.
So jaw starts with Jordan. So we're gonna start with you, my brother. The
Let's
first
get
word is sarcophagus.
See,
sarcophagus.
Yes.
Hold on, because I'm thinking of the
kind of dumbass.
I'm thinking of the monster verse.
That's right. That's the
Put the
point.
pussy in a sarcophagus. Okay.
But he says it. He don't spell it.
Wait, what's the word again?
Sarcophagus. See now I could either start and fuck this up immediately or be on the right track. S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're not gonna, just don't give me no clues.
Are there words that was like a CZ type shit? That's what I was like, watch me that dumbass shit.
Sarcophagus. This is where I get fucked up.
Yeah. There's no stealing from me. You got it.
Agus. You know what? I don't know it. COGHUES.
Close, but it is wrong, my brother.
Give him the spelling.
Wait, Wongo,
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Deferred.
You said you didn't want it.
Nah, let me take.
What's the word again?
Sarcophagus, a stone coffin typically adorned with a sculpture or inscription and associated with an ancient civilization such as Egypt, Rome, and Greece.
Say it again, but don't say it like a nigga. Like say it like
sarcophagus. No, don't give him no cues.
Sarcophagus.
See, that's what I wanted to hear.
You wanted to hear the phonetics.
Yeah, I wanted to hear the diction. No, it's not. Because when you're at the spelling bee, they're going to say it like that suit and tied up shit.
Sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus.
You're not getting this shit, bro. Spell this shit, bro.
All right, sarcophagus.
That is crazy.
I'm going to do the whole thing. Sarcophagus. SARCO. COPHAGUS.
Correct.
Hey,
that's some bullshit.
Wongo Okon is on the board with 1 point.
There we go. Talk about it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Your next word, we'll be starting with you.
I'm one up, so I'm cool. I quit.
Oh my God.
This word is legionnaire.
Who's going first?
A member of a legion,
You
in
spell it
particular
first.
an ancient Roman legion or the French foreign
I know how to
legion.
spell this.
Legionnaire.
I know exactly where I'm going to fuck up, but I'm going to go ahead and
I hope you fuck up.
possibly fuck up there.
Go for it.
Legionnaire. LEGIONNAIRE.
Correct.
See, but
Ding,
legionnaire
ding,
was
ding,
easy
ding,
because
ding,
that's how I was
ding.
going to
No.
spell it
I didn't
too.
know if it was 2 ends or 1 end. That was my thing.
There it is.
That's
There it
fucked
is.
up.
There it is.
Legionnaire is easier than
Damn,
sarcophagus.
I'm putting out for the hood.
We will.
This for the Providence
We will
public
bring
school
it back.
education system.
I got to get 1 bucket. Here we
We will
go.
bring it back to Jordan Rose. Your word is vexatious, causing or tending.
Yo, this is crazy. Yo, legionnaire to vexatious.
Causing or tending to cause annoyance.
Oh my
Don't
God.
vex me.
Or worry.
Vexation
Vexatious.
Vexatious?
Yes.
Vexatious. Vexatious.
You better get this right because I'm about to get it right.
Vexatious. All right. VEX. No, wait. VECACIOUS.
Incorrect.
You spelled vexatious.
Incorrect, my
You
friend.
spelled vacacious.
Wongo.
I'm not a good
You had it with the
speller,
X. You had it with the X.
Wongo, you can win it if you get this correct. This will be
Fuck
a
this
clean
nigga, bro.
sweep. As Anderson .Paak said. We call this a clean sweep.
Yes,
It was off the coke. Anyways, go ahead,
Vexatious?
my brother.
OD.
He was coked up.
Yeah, them boys was on coke for sure.
Smacked the freshest,
Clean or
the freshest
white
of
girl.
cocaine.
As soon as Bruno got bagged with that, like that time he got arrested, it's been coke ever since then.
Oh my God.
Wongo, your word to steal and to win potentially. Vexatious.
Don't get me tight.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to fuck this up because the shis part is fucking me up.
Do you think?
There's so many ways you can go with this.
Yes. All right.
Causing or tending to cause annoyance, frustration, or worry.
Yeah, like don't vex me. I've heard that from my mom all the
Nah,
time. Yeah,
don't vex me.
Vex
Valid.
it's one of my favorite words.
Yeah,
I love
that
the
word.
vex.
All right. Vexatious. Shis. shit. All right, I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's VEXASIOUS.
Incorrect.
Oh.
I thought he got that shit right too.
Incorrect.
One letter, the T instead of the S.
I fucking thought it was
yes.
yeah, okay.
All right.
Wongo, it is your turn. The word is cellophane.
Cellophane?
Yo,
you stained in my boy. You stained my boy. You stained him.
This shit's fixed. He's getting loud.
But I might fuck.
This was not intentional, I promise.
Yeah, you stained him.
He's getting
because that's a
loud.
slight one.
Blame Nick. He's the
Cellophane.
producer.
Well, let me not say it's slight because I'm about to fuck up on one part.
You not.
Yeah, I am about to. Cellophane. CELLOPHANE. Cellophane.
Correct.
Yo, this is
Yeah.
what the
Sir.
fuck? Yo, what the fuck?
First edition
Yo, watch this.
of
This shit was
That's
fixed, bro.
Too Busy
It
Spelling.
was rigged.
Hey.
He said it was rigged.
The first edition of Too Busy Spelling. Our
Wow.
winner
Shout out PVD. Shout out my parents
You
for putting
from
me
PVD?
PVD.
Oh.
Niggas be from Rhode Island. That's
PVD,
That was some
Providence, Rhode
Massachusetts
Island.
shit.
Don't sleep on my hood because we about to be on. Shout out
really
my
be from
niggas back home
Providence.
who made school
Wow.
fun and made me want to go every day. Shout out capitalism for fucking me up and making me take loans out to stay in school and at least make going to school worth it. I appreciate all of you. I'm sorry, Jordan.
If you're watching this, it don't fucking matter because I can write and I got
There you go.
Grammarly.
There you go.
So it don't
That's
fucking
it. At
matter
the end
if
of
I
the day,
can't
niggas got
spell.
Grammarly, so
Niggas
niggas
got
I don't
got
Grammarly,
fucking-
bro.
what am I gonna
It's
write
not
by
a concern.
hands?
Yeah.
Spelling is not
I
a
would have fucked
concern.
up Vexatious and Grammarly would have been like,
Fucking
I
loser.
Got
You're
you,
good,
my
you're
nigga.
good.
That's crazy.
So, jumping into you both.
Wait, do I get a prize?
I have some stickers for you. I'll give you a sticker.
There we go. Now
Yeah, you could take a tequila shot if you want. That's
No,
your
no,
facts,
no,
that's
no,
your
no,
prize.
no. I already
Whoa.
took 2 cups. I'm
my
good.
brother, what you doing?
It's Saturday.
It's
If
fine.
I start talking about dairy, bro, you gonna it's gonna be trouble.
Blood clear.
That's
I will
crazy.
defeat the dairy allegations by moving on to our interview portion of the episode. Wongo, what the hell is growing up in Providence, Rhode Island like?
Yo, I appreciate this question. So first things first, there are black people in Rhode Island.
People don't know that.
Shocker.
There's a lot.
I didn't know that.
And
There's a lot.
it doesn't surprise me. Like, it's shocking. Like when I hear it because I know where I'm from and I know where I grew up and like I know like the environment and shit. But it doesn't surprise me at the same time because it's just I don't know. I just get
It's
it.
ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just not knowing.
Yeah, exactly. But Providence is very, very like culturally diverse. Like the city itself, you can get through it in 25 minutes driving through, no problem. But you're gonna have you're gonna have your Asian community. You're gonna have your African community. Like a lot of Nigerian and Liberian, Ghanaian people are there. You're going to have your Cape Verdeans there.
Shout out.
the
Yes.
Cape Verdean women in the world.
Absolutely. Hi.
You're gonna have your Spanish people, your Hispanic people. Like you are going to have. It's a very big like palette filled with different things, and just different corners to kind of sit in. And you have your white people too. I mean, I guess I could. Whatever. Anywho,
Type shit.
Here y'all go.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
anyway,
Continue your point.
but yes,
That's crazy.
You're not beating the allegations, my good brother.
Allegations.
not when I'm here.
Allegations.
What color is
But-
that hoodie?
Come on now, he repping to that.
Come on,
He
man.
repping to that.
Yo, this is
More
my
white
show.
than black.
You're not gonna do this to me on my show.
More white than black.
Continue your point.
But yeah, super culturally diverse. And because of that, it comes alive everywhere. It comes alive in the food, the type of music you hear.
Yeah.
Like one thing I really noticed when I started traveling is like, I might get flamed for this, whatever. This might be slightly inaccurate, but whatever. For the most part, when I've traveled down south and like I go out to parties, like they have no issue like trap music straight for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And like I've seen this like on social media, them support that. Like that is what we expect. Like if you try that back home, it's not flying. It's not like you can get your like 30-minute. Like you have to rotate. You got to go through. You go through the trap music. Give us some R&B. Give us some Afro beats. Give us some bachata. Give us some merengue. Like give us some pasada. Like all like go through everything. Like because like just for the scene, you have to entertain the scene. You have to entertain the people that are there, and that is what our scene presents.
Yeah.
We are very, very talented from a creative standpoint. Like there are a lot of people that you might not, realize that are in, creative, relevant positions, like in different people, like different areas. Like one of like the top positions at Keep Cool Records. Shout out Drewski, he's from Rhode Island. Max October, he works at Spotify. I don't know his exact, position there, but he's there as well. Jeremy Pena, like he is just starting off with the Houston Astros, like going crazy. Like we have Hennessy, we have just so many people. Shout out Complex Ambition. Like there are so many people there are so many people from, like we call ourselves the creative capital. Like whether that's the creative capital of Rhode Island or the creative capital of this region, whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna argue about that, but I just know that my home is talented. My home is diverse, and like when people have talked about it as like, oh, like Providence is just a flyover state, and I never get offended when people who haven't been to the city talk about it because every time someone comes to the city, they leave and they're like, oh shit, like this is different. So I just know, like as you're talking your shit, when the day comes that you got to step foot in Providence, Rhode Island, no problem. It's gonna all change, and our suburb be lit as fuck. Shout out Day Trail, shout out Afro Brunch, shout out everything that's popping off in the city. I love like a lot of people back home are like, I cannot wait to get the fuck out of here because of X, Y, and Z. It's always typical like dumbass shit. It's always like, see, I got the tequila, so I'm talking crazy. It's always, but it's dead ass is always like dumbass shit. Like, oh, there's like fake people here, or there's like
there's fake people everywhere.
There's fake people
everywhere.
Like you gonna move to fucking
Los Angeles,
LA.
You
gonna move to
Hold on. We're not doing that.
Hold on for fake people. I'm going to LA.
Right. Hold on. We're not doing that.
Oh yeah,
We're not doing that.
Like you
There's no fake people out there.
There are, but they transplanted.
Oh, the transplants are the fake ones.
Yeah.
There's not fake homegrown LA people?
No.
You sure?
I see there's fake homegrown everywhere.
Well, I mean,
like
we're
generally
talking about
speak,
fake to what level? Like not like good folks. Like they
there's
snakes.
just bad people everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of
that's
course.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
if you move it, like you're just like, oh, like everyone's a hater here. I'm just gonna go somewhere. Nigga, you gonna meet another hater.
Hater everywhere you go.
People from your hometown are gonna hate you the most, especially niggas don't want to see you doing better than that.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. But it's like so. All that to say, Prav is excellent.
Pravi.
I'm annoyed that you're coming when I'm not gonna be there.
I'm tight. I'm really tight.
Wait, when's the dates again?
The wedding's July 24th.
It's not his wedding, y'all.
It's not yet.
No, he's getting married to a Dairy Queen.
Oh my God, Blizzard,
Crazy. I told you I'm bad about
with the cookie dough in the
What are these allegations?
Cookie dough,
Dr. Umar, I'm sorry.
with a red spoon.
Anywho,
2
Jordan
seconds from walking in.
Jordan.
Oh, pivot.
Growing up in Jersey, man, what was it like? You and I are both Jersey residents. I know you're in the Plainfield area now. Where'd you grow up originally?
Man, shout out Jersey City, Monticello Ave to be
Jersey
exact.
City. I love Jersey City.
You know,
I have a lot of family out there.
Bro, Jersey, especially like, Jersey, obviously, we get a lot of slack because of our proximity to New York. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's like, oh, Jersey is the armpit of this, that, and the third, da-da-da-da. I feel like it's like a personality trait to like hate on Jersey, you know? But in reality, bro, it's like, first of all, Lauryn Hill's from Jersey.
There's a lot from Jersey.
Talk about it.
Kyrie
One
Irving.
of the greatest artists of all
Sugar Hill
time.
Gang.
Okay, Shaq, Kyrie, shout out Joe Budden. I don't care how you feel about him. He's from
Pump it
Jersey.
up.
He's from Jersey City. My grandmother knows his mother on some other shit. And that's how small Jersey City is,
Niggas
too.
just be knowing people.
Like, it be super tiny. And plus, now you're trying to move to Jersey City because you can't afford to live in the city. So you're going to move to Jersey City and take the path to the city. So I'm not even going to get into all of that.
Jordan said y'all broke.
But
That's what I heard.
no, it's dope. Shout out Jinx too.
Big Jinx.
From Jersey.
And Scotty Beam's from Jersey too.
Yeah, look, everybody's from Jersey. And actually Jinx said something really dope about Jersey a minute ago. He was on it was like an interview. He was talking about how because of our proximity to the city, but because we also have our own, ecosystem and culture, we're able to have the best of both worlds and kind of experience these things, but from a different perspective. Because oftentimes if you're like from the city, you're from the city or the surrounding area still in New York or Connecticut, I guess. But if you're from Jersey, you're able to experience this entire culture of your own while also obviously being next to this other massive ecosystem and culture and melting pot.
Yeah.
And whenever I get the chance, like people, because I went to Syracuse, shout out to Syracuse, I guess.
Citrus gang.
Shout out to Syracuse though. But like people who met me in college, I introduced myself as Jordan from Jersey. Like that, I really hold a lot of pride in where I'm from. Just because like, I feel like it's important. Kind of like what Wongo was just saying. I really think it's important to be proud of where you're from.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
it really influences in ways that you realize and ways that you don't realize a lot of the things that you do, how you operate, how you observe the rest of the world. So I think it's important, man. Yeah, Jersey is dope. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we have Jersey Club. You know, a massive. One day I'm gonna write a massive fucking
Love
oral
letter.
history of Jersey
Jersey
Club.
Club music, man.
DJ Lil Man
What a
going in
time.
parking lots and dance. Listen,
Patty cake.
it's a whole thing. It's a massive thing. But
The
shout out to
Wu-Tang.
Jersey,
It's
man.
its own thing.
Yeah.
Always and forever, bro.
100%,
Love it out there.
100%.
And I forgot to shout out Northside Prov. That's my hood. I had
Northside
to say Northside.
Pravi.
Northside.
I want to ask you both. How did you find your way to music journalism?
I want your story first because I've said my story so many times. I want to hear someone else's before I give my own. So go ahead.
Honestly, it's crazy because so in the beginning, right, I used to be a very like bad public speaker. And I also had like a little speech impediment. Like I used to have like a crazy stutter.
Stutter gang, me too.
Facts. So my mom, when I was young, made me go to oratory class where we would literally just memorize speeches and like perform them in front of people to like help with our public speaking. So that transformed into me getting a love for like spoken word. I used to do a lot of open mics and poetry things. And that's kind of how I got to creative writing, was like through writing poetry and prose. And then once I got to college, shout out to Regina Cho.
Shout out
Don't know
Regina.
Regina Cho, you should know Regina Cho.
Big
That
Nacho.
If you
rocks.
don't know her, that's your problem.
Big
That's-
Reginald.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Regina. So I got to Syracuse as a freshman, and it was a magazine, the only hip hop magazine on our
Mixtape
campus
Mag.
called Mixtape. And Regina was the head editor at the time of Mixtape when I was a freshman. And she basically took me under her wing, and really showed me that Mixtape was the first hip hop anything I wrote for. And it was modeled like a regular hip hop publication. So it really gave me like a skeleton of what it would be like to write for a publication.
Yeah.
And from there, and once I realized like, wow, me writing creatively about music is kind of like me writing poetry, except for not in stanzas. It's just me writing and talking, and that's how my poems were anyway. So Mixtape was really how I started writing about music in general, and then that kind of just grew and evolved to me, and then me realizing like, wow, this is like what I want to do, and pursuing that in a more professional way. But like, yeah, that's how I got started, was like literally Mixtape. Like I can't. And then when I was a senior at CUSE, I was like the head of the digital side of it, which was dope, because then I was able to like take in freshmen and sophomores who were interested in writing but didn't know what avenues. Because I really feel like for everyone, like in the beginning, it's really, really hard to just figure out how to navigate this space, because it's not traditional. There's no real conventional way to go about it. Because every journalism program really, I feel like, teaches more like NBC, CNN, NY Times type of style of journalism.
Or it's very like theoretical. A lot of like theory, a lot of like almost outdated stuff.
100%.
I feel.
So it's hard to like translate that into like, you know, music or culture writing. And it's really hard to figure out how to do that. So yeah, shout out Mixtape, man. That's how I got started.
Wongus.
Shit. I'm gonna keep this story ends up being long for me all the time, so I'm gonna keep it as short as possible. But my love for writing goes back to definitely high school. For me, I like Jordan. I used to write poems all the time. My thing was kind of like taking albums and like using all the album titles and making like as smooth as like a poem type thing as possible.
That's dope.
So yeah, I used to do that a lot. But I think my senior year, I took an AP English class with my homeroom teacher. Shout out Miss Toro. And I'd always been okay with essays. Like I could do my essays last minute. I get a B, like cool. Like, and for a while I was just like, oh, like these teachers they're just passing me by, whatever. I don't cause no trouble in class. Like I just be doing my thing. But it wasn't until that AP English class that I was like, oh, like no, like I'm actually good at this shit. So going into college, I actually started college as a computer science major. So like all the like little tech Apple shit that y'all see me in, that's where it comes from.
Okay.
But URI's computer science program is trash, and we'll get into that later. But it is dead ass trash. But but at that time, I was also exploring hobbies and stuff, and I really got into. That's when I really took a step into journalism. I had a meeting one time with someone who is now my mentor, but at the time was just like an OG essentially. And he came to like speak to like our freshmen, just like a bunch of black freshman students. Where's Nasty? Shout out Where's Nasty? And he basically just said like, you know, like as you're in college, like now is the time to try shit. Like if there's something you want to pursue, like do it now in college while you can fall, you can get up, dust yourself off, and get back to the path you was on before, or try some other shit. So I was like, all right, bet. So I took a chance with journalism, and I had a blog at the time. It's called Unorthodox, but like instead of OX at the end, it's AUX.
Okay.
So we had that blog running for like, you know, I am.
He's unorthodox.
But we had that blog running for, I want to say like 6-7 months. I had some friends that helped me, gave them a chance to write about the music they loved. And I wrote about the music I loved. I covered some local shit as well. And, you know, through that, I eventually ended up meeting Mecca from Two Dope Boys, and I kind of presented that. And yeah, and then from there, it's just kind of been up. But, you know, my kind of thing from just journalism, just being a creative as a whole, is just doing what I got to do to refine my talents and make sure that like I'm doing the best I can, so that the day that someone opens a door for me, it's like, you ain't even got to worry about it because I'm about to kill this and just be out of here. So like there's multiple people that have opened doors for me and allowed me to do what I do now. Shout out to them. But yeah, just from that point, it was just like, yeah, like someone opens a door for me, like I'm killing that shit and it's done. It's out of here.
Facts.
Jordan, I know you and I have a very similar experience with a certain editor at a certain publication where you pitch to them and they tell you, oh, you need to get better as a writer, download Grammarly. And I know for me personally, that moment where I was denied an opportunity, it's something that I think about a lot. And it's why I write the way that I do, because like no one is ever going to deny me again.
Facts.
Write better? You ain't seen shit yet.
Right.
So, you know, and I don't use it in like terms of like negative fuel. I use it to fuel me to do things positively. But sometimes you need those moments of humility where you're like, oh, nah, I need to lock in and do better. So that's a moment that I kind of cling to, in that it pushes me to always do my best work. And so for you both, what is something that's happened throughout your journalism career that like you like hold on to, and it's kind of recharges the battery in your back for you to keep going and be motivated and put out great work as y'all do?
Shit. I made a promise to myself in college that I would live off journalism. Like that was just it. Like I don't like doing shit I don't want to do. Like that's just it. I'm not the like, I don't want to do extra labor that I don't have to do. I'm not, no, I'm not cool with that. So through college, my senior year, I decided I was going to switch my major finally from computer science to writing.
Yeah.
And that year I just said, you know what? Like I am going to find a job. I am going to get hired. I'm going to find something by the time I graduate. That year was all fucked up because of the pandemic type shit. So it didn't go as smoothly as like I planned. But yeah, by the end of my first semester, like I had the job. I got that's when I got hired with Uprocks. And so basically just doing what I have to do and exploring my talents as much as possible and being the best writer I can be, and then making sure I'm better than that writer was yesterday going on. That is essentially what motivates me, because I'm Nigerian. Thankfully, my parents have like been very supportive of my job and, you know, my career interests. I know that's not the case, but at the end of the day, like I don't want them to kind of regret that support and be like, damn, like I wish I would have pushed him this way. Like, nah, like I got it. It's cool. Like this is what I want to do. This is my passion. This is my dream, and I'm living it, and I'm gonna live it to a point that I live off it. And, you know, sometime down the line, I'm able to support my family and, you know, live a comfortable life. Shit, if I'm rich, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
But at the very least, live a comfortable life, be able to support my family, be able to support my kids, be able to support my parents when it's time to do that.
Yeah.
So that goal and being able to do that has been just my thing.
That's your battery.
Yeah, that's the battery for me.
How about you, Jordan? What's your battery?
I mean, shit. One of which was what you just mentioned earlier about the fucking getting a message.
What an experience that is.
Especially yo.
I'm not gonna cap. Like I was genuinely like brought to tears when I got that email. I was like, damn, am I not meant for this shit?
Right.
Am I not good enough to do this shit? You
Bro.
look 3 years later, it's like, nah, I'm him. But please go.
Bro, nah, like, you know, yeah, getting that message, especially like I sent this said editor a draft of something I had already written. He had greenlit it.
Yeah.
I sent him the
That's
draft.
the weirdest experience.
And he was like, yeah, nah, I think you should invest in Grammarly. Which in
crazy.
like
That's
crazy
thing
as
to
fuck.
say, low-key.
And I was
Low-key, that's a crazy.
you know,
Yeah.
I was young at the time, so I was fresh off of my internship with Complex. And I was like, you know, if I could do that, I could do anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna shoot. And it was a really humbling experience. But also like, you know, that plus when close around that time as well, someone else telling me that, you know, one of my mentors who I love her because she's very honest at all times. Like she never minces her words. And she told me like, you know, you need to make sure that you are someone who's easy to work with. Like if you give an editor your writing, they're not gonna be like, damn, I'm gonna have to like go back and rewrite this, or I'm gonna have, or it's gonna take me time out of my day to edit Jordan's shit. Like you wanna make sure that when you send someone your shit, they're not gonna have extra stress thinking, damn, I greenlit this and I hope I greenlit his piece. I hope I don't have to edit it a lot. So that, you know, really made me like, I'm a strong believer in like you having to be just a little bit crazy to really get some shit done. Like,
absolutely,
you know,
Name one genius that ain't crazy.
yeah, like,
Absolutely.
and I don't mean like working through burnout or, you know, burning yourself out doing the most, but just like you have to have at least this bit of obsession or craziness
Meticulous.
about what you love to do to really get good at it. And that's just what I did. Like after that Grammarly shit, I just obsessively edited my shit, obsessively reread my shit, and made sure that
for 3 summers.
yeah, bro,
3 summers.
5 articles a day for 3 summers. Like that's not cap. Like especially for those who write news.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my news writers out there, bro.
And news
I
aggregation
do not
shit.
envy y'all.
Bro,
do not envy
The
y'all.
most
fun.
grueling type of writing I think out. It's ridiculous.
News writing sucks.
Bro,
It's
it's
not
the
fun.
worst. No, like
It's not fun.
you know what? Let's keep it a stack because there's a lack of transparency in journalism.
Yeah.
News writing really, really sucks. It's a job that is a necessity because of obviously, you know, that
You got to keep the lights on.
yeah, it
The
keeps the numbers
algorithms.
up.
The
You got to keep the
algorithms.
lights on.
News writers keep organizations alive for real. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Underappreciated. They keep the lights on.
Absolutely.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
And it sucks because of the volume with which you write.
Yeah.
And when you're
you
writing
probably
about
do more
shit,
news than album reviews or interviews.
Type
that you
shit.
and when
really
you're writing
wanna
about
do.
shit you couldn't give a fuck
Don't give a
about.
fuck about it. You just have to write it because it's something that's trending or
That's the
something that just
hardest thing.
happened.
That'd be like,
It's really difficult. So like, you know, so shout out to all my news writers because that shit
Shout out
is
to them for
really,
sure.
really fucking hard and doesn't get the type of recognition it deserves.
Definitely.
But yeah, like I think I just kind of, you know, the battery in my back came from moments like that and like promising myself that I would never feel that way again.
Yes.
I would never even put myself in a position where someone could say something so disrespectful to me or about my craft ever
right.
again.
Dog.
And just being so meticulous and focused and all my shit, so a little bit crazy about it,
Yeah.
that it's like, bro, like you can, if ever some shit like that will come up, it's not because of the writing, it's because of something else. So yeah, I think that's what really, and it just, it drove me and really focused me to always be sharp and always be ready so I never have to get ready, basically.
Yeah.
fire.
So I've known you, Jordan, since like maybe like 2019. We met when I had the pregame for the J. Cole Day party.
Yeah.
Wongo, I don't remember when we started.
Yeah, I don't
each other,
either.
but you were just always mad supportive, and I was like, oh, this nigga's dope. And then I started checking your shit. I was like, oh, he's like really dope. Like he's dope.
Appreciate
and, like,
that.
I feel like
For
we've
sure.
got this really like tight-knit writing community, like us. Then we got Regina. And
Shout out Regina again.
Like Matt Ritchie, Ahmad Davis, like
Yes,
a
sir.
bunch of really cool people that we
Absolutely.
and Jira. Shout out to the
Shout
woman
out
and
Njira.
Jira. Bunch of other people. I can name so many, but
Right.
I feel like we have this really supportive, tight knit writing community, and like it was something that I sought out. It was like I want peers in this that I fuck with, like because a lot of writers are weird, like they're weird people, and a lot of them aren't cool when you meet them in person. Like,
Right.
so it's like meeting people like y'all are refreshing. Like, what's it feel like to kind of be in what I describe as like there's a renaissance of black writers right now. Like we do the best shit, and we're leading great places, Uprocks, Complex. Like we're leading these great places. So what's it feel like to be part of that? Because I consider you two like very significant parts of why there's a black writer renaissance right now.
Bro, it's inspiring, bro. Like seeing Wongo, you know what I'm saying? So many, Andre, my coworker, like there's so
Andre's so fucking
different.
fire.
Andre is different.
Andre's
Like,
I would love to write like him.
Andre is
different.
bro.
Like
Bro,
there's just so many Jess. Like there's so
Dog.
many, you know, people who
Shout out Jess.
inspire me. And like I genuinely, and obviously the super OGs like Craig and
Jenkins.
people
Yeah, of
like
course.
that.
Well,
you
William
know,
Ketchum,
yeah, like the
Austin Williams.
yeah, you know, Carl Lamar, obviously,
Oh, of course.
you know, but it's like reading people like I remember someone told me like a while ago, like it's really important to network like laterally, like
Yes.
people who you're with, because like when time goes on and when you're at the age of OGs, you're going to be with the people who you started out with.
Yeah.
So it's really important to like be with them and create that type of community and be in that community to keep shit alive and going. And I really, really appreciate just like how dope everyone is. I love reading everyone else's work.
Absolutely.
Cause it's inspiring, man. It's really inspiring seeing other people do dope shit. You know what I mean? Like it's dope. Yeah. I can't say enough about how thankful I am for how, you know, supportive and genuine I feel like everyone is. Like when you meet people who you fuck with on social media and show love to and they show love back. And it's like it's a real type of camaraderie that's not this like, because it's like we know this industry is very fucking weird. Like this industry is a lot of
dog eat dog. Like
Yeah.
music sucks. The music industry. I want to tell y'all, the music industry sucks.
it's very
It sucks.
weird, bro. It's like
It really sucks.
there's journalists who thinks they're famous, and it's weird, but that's a whole other thing. But
one of
like that's a whole other thing. But I'm appreciative of knowing people who are genuine and who help elevate me, basically.
Yeah, man. I mean, from where I'm from, like there are a few writers, and like shout out the writers, you know, from Rhode Island that are kind of carving out in whatever genre type thing. Like some of them are political writers, some of them. My younger brother is a fucking sports writer. Like that's
dope.
his thing. But I've always desired a community of, you know, music writers because, you know, you want to be around people, you want to talk to people, you want to be friends with people who understand what the fuck you do and like what you go through every day. So, you know, meeting Jordan, like
I love
it
you
was
guys. I love y'all.
love
you too.
I love you.
Love you too, bro. It's helped with like the stability, like mentally of like everything and knowing that like, okay, like these everyday stresses and like the normal shit of like, damn, I have a review and an interview due like within these couple days on top of like all the other life shit that I got to do. And it's like, fuck, like this is crazy. But knowing that, you know, there's other people that have been through that situation, might be going through it at the same time with you.
Right.
That's what their next week is going to look like. All of that is comforting and, you know, just it helps to like, you know, go through like the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year motions of everything. And I don't know, being a part of the Black Renaissance, like you look at it a lot bigger than I do. Like I am just happy to be like in this world where like other people are writing dope ass shit. Everyone that you named is great at what they do, and like it's an honor to be, you know, a part of them because you know I just know the kind of work and stuff and just
the caliber.
the stuff that like took for me to get here, and it's just like okay, like I'm actually like it's dope to be considered like on this plane with everyone. So
Facts.
But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes sit down and think, and I'm like, yo, I wonder like where everything is gonna be in the next year, 2, 3 years. Like it's like crazy to think about, but you know, I know everyone's doing their thing and they're really good at it and they're doing it well. So like, I'm just excited to see like where this goes and what doors it opens and you know where we just all end up.
I'm curious for y'all. So one thing I always ask Armon, and he's answered a few different times on it, but we talked about Wongo. You talked about like not doing things you like or doing things that you don't like to do, right?
Sure.
How do you guys remain responsible journalists and give the craft everything that it needs to give when you're writing about a piece or assign something that you're just not into? How do you set aside that personal disdain or maybe dislike for something, and how do you approach just like it's gonna be Wongo in this piece, it's gonna be Jordan in this piece, but I don't like this at all.
I think a perfect example, well, there's 2 examples that I know I've gone through and I've been very conscious of it, is the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine shit.
Yeah.
His kind of just
everything.
comeback, whatever you want to call it. And Tory Lanez. Those are 2 people that I couldn't care less to write about. Like, I would prefer to skip over whatever shit they're doing, but I understand that these kind of things are needed to keep the lights on. The way I see it is, and you know, it's funny to me. It's funny to me because like I or someone else will post shit and you'll get a whole bunch of quote retweets that are like, you know, who gives a fuck about this? Like, why are y'all talking? But if I look at the numbers on this post, a lot of niggas do care about it.
Yeah.
So it's like you might not, but a lot of people do. And this, unfortunately, the way that kind of like online journalism is set up, like it's very click based, and you need to get those clicks in to keep the lights on in order to write about the shit that you actually do want to write about.
Yeah.
Facts.
And it's unfortunate that way, but that's kind of the way I've learned to accept that. And at the same time, like, these things that are happening are part of news. Like, you do have to kind of tell the whole story. So, like, with this whole, like, Tory and Megan shit that's going on, the bullshit that Tory says, like, you do have to document that. So, like, years later, when we're looking back at the situation, we could be like, yeah, Tory said this, Tory said that, Tory said that. The nigga's fucked up in the head. Like, we can have it all there to look back on and say that, rather than it being like, well, did he? Like,
who said it?
Yeah. And the same thing with Tekashi. Like, I think the whole rise and fall of Tekashi's like speaks to like something in hip hop. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody that's able to like pull out that whole situation and draw a conclusion from it. But that situation did happen, and you know, it's a part of music history, hip hop history, whatever you want to call it. So just looking at it as one, we kind of need to do these things to keep the lights on and being able to write what I want to write about, because there's definitely things that, there's artists that, you know, aren't the biggest in the world, but probably because I've written the things that I don't want to write about, that I do get to write about the things that I'm passionate about. And then just looking at it as like, this kind of journalism is like a day-to-day history thing, and we do need to keep track of things, and we do need to, you know, write and report things so that, you know, down the line, when we need to refer to it, it's there. And 2, there's some kid that's like hella young that's gonna want to study hip hop or study music or whatever, and they're gonna want to look to things. So it's like, we need to make sure that we're accurately reporting these things and telling the whole story, so that when they look back at it, they're getting the full picture and they're able to draw the best conclusion that they can.
There's a responsibility element to journalism.
Absolutely.
Like that ethical thing that it goes beyond just a single person.
About
the story.
And that's why and that's why I also, even as much as difficult it is to write about news and stuff, I'm appreciative of it, because it's built a foundation for me of being able to unbiasedly write things. Like when I have to write an aggregated news piece about Tory Lanez and Megan's case, or Tekashi, or Will and Chris Rock, like things like that, where I don't want to write about these things, but I'm able to write about them exactly as it is, you know, not really give my opinion on it, just write exactly what's happening right now as it is, has helped outside of the news writing, whenever I'm like writing a review or if I'm writing anything, an essay or anything else, I'm able to put my opinion into it, but also be cognizant of where my opinion is and where the facts are. So I'm able to section out essays of like, here's what I think, but also like I did that with the Larry Hoover concert. Like when I went for the Kanye Drake shit, I wrote, the beginning of like my experience, the middle section of exactly how we got here, i.e. like who Larry Hoover is, why he's in prison, why Kanye wants to free him, how that history was, and then how I felt like the concert wasn't about freeing Larry Hoover at all. And it was more of like a ego trip for Kanye to try to get his wife back, pinned as a Larry Hoover benefit concert. That's crazy as fuck. Yeah. But I was able to give the entire picture rather than just my opinion. Yeah. So that's why I'm also really appreciative of news, because without it, I wouldn't be able to do that.
100%. 100%. I know for me, and I try not to do this, but you, as a writer, you'll write a certain story and it'll just be incredible. And subconsciously or consciously, you'll be chasing that story. And so for me, it's the Brent Faiyaz album review that I did. Right. I think that's the best writing I've ever done.
Absolutely.
And every time I write something, I try to hold it to that standard. But it was like, there was just so much going on in that moment for me to produce that. And so it's a losing battle, because I'm never going to be at the point that I was when I wrote that story. Right. For y'all, what's that story for you that you feel like consciously or subconsciously you're chasing that impact that it had on you personally, but also the impact that it had on the people?
I mean, honestly, when I write shit, I write and forget. Like,
because you write a lot more often than I do. Both of you write way more often.
Yeah, like writing is like, as much as I love it, it is an exhausting exercise. And like, you are like scrambling to get all these words out of your head and these concepts and be able to string them together and put it and get it out as smooth as possible. And it's like, I can't tell you how many like frustrating like times I've had where it's like in the morning, like I've thought of something, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, and stupid me didn't write it down or like scribble it down somewhere, and it's time to write and I completely forgotten. Like it fucks up everything. So yeah, it is like that. But if I had to pick one, and I recently looked back at it after she won her 2 Grammys, but Jasmine Sullivan's Hotels review that I did, I read it and I was like, damn, like I was in a zone.
You spaz.
For this one. Like I was like, oh shit, like this, like I don't even remember like writing, like I don't like, it was just, it's just kind of throwing it out. And that kind of came as a change in my writing process. That one was a part of just me trusting myself more as a writer and not trying to like construct like this thing and just being like, you know how you feel about this project, so just write it. Trust that you'll be able to translate that correctly and that a reader will be able to understand. Shout out Aaron for that advice. And yeah, that's definitely one that for sure. Yeah, that's the one for me.
Yeah, I think, and I'm glad you answered first because it gave me a lot of time to think. I think one would be, honestly, and it's super random, but my 30 album review, Adele, it was a blurb, but it was like a long ass blurb. It was a good blurb, yeah, for sure. And it was just because like that album, shout out to exactly who you are, really touched me because it was like a divorce album. And like, I'm 23, I haven't got divorced, but like, man, the time when that joint came out, it hit me. Like I drink wine. I drink wine. That song right there. Man. So like I really wrote that shit. You feel me? And I really wrote the fuck out of it. And I'm really, really proud of that. That and honestly, the Drake Kanye Larry Hoover concert essay. Only because of just how chaotic it was for me to write that. Like I wrote that shit after the concert.
We was up.
Facts. We was up. Actually, I forgot. It was like fucking 3 a.m. Yeah. I had a flight at 8 a.m. So I had to get to the airport at like 7 a.m. And I just wrote that shit straight because it had to get turned in the next day. Yeah. And like, it was just the concert itself was so like a surreal, weird, wild moment. Yeah. That was so unexpected. And I pre-wrote it too. Like I pre-wrote all of like the Larry Hoover shit because I already knew the Larry Hoover shit, so I could write that already. Yeah. And then the experiences that I had, I would write in and fill in. But just the way I wrote it, like the process of which I wrote it was fucking wild. I was like so thankful that it came out the way that it did. And I was able to capture this moment in a way that I felt like really spoke to how I felt about it. Because there was a lot of coverage about it being, oh, this like crazy, brilliant thing. But like I really, and then conversely, there was a lot of coverage about how it was like this weird thing that wasn't about Larry Hoover.
Absolutely.
And that's how I felt. And even though like, and I feel like I could say this, Complex loves Kanye. And like we love to cover Kanye and
everyone
shit.
does, though.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
that nigga brings in like
clicks.
Exactly.
Bro.
Big clicks.
So it wasn't the best to write a non-favorable article about Kanye West, but I was really glad to have been able to write that. And yeah, it just came out really dope. And I because I write a lot of interviews and I'm now starting to write more essays, I lean into that because I'm trying to recapture that feeling of, because like you said earlier, writing an essay, like an album review or whatever type of essay it is completely different than writing an interview. Because the interview is just like the intro, which you can make the intro heat, but then it's just transcription. You know, but the essay, or I mean, the album review or anything else is just straight text. It's just straight up you. So you really got to come correct for like, it's like a whole basketball game. Like you have to come correct the entirety of the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, that would probably be it for me.
Okay, wait,
You guys,
wait.
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, use the bathroom again.
This guy, bro. Honestly, because I got to re-up my cup.
Place to cut.
I'm re up my cup
Go
too.
ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask the question while you re-up. You guys have touched on the writing process a little bit, and my writing process has changed a lot over the years. It's been very, very different based off of where I've been and what I've been responsible for writing about.
Right.
All that. So I want you to get into what your writing process is at this stage of your career, being that you're complex staff writer. You know, previously you've dabbled freelancing a bunch of different places. Like what is your writing process?
Man, I'll wait for them to come back. Man, it's truly like madness. Cause I'm crazy. So like I'll be like,
I think it's crazy.
Bro.
Crazy? It might be crazy.
Bro, like I'll think of something and like it could be something that would go in the middle of the essay. Like a fire 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And I'll write that shit down immediately. But it'll just be a continuous that of like me thinking of random dope sentences, phrases, ways I want to put things. And I'll just write it until I have a crazy compilation of just a mishmash of shit. And then what I call the puzzle phase is like, I will try to puzzle these things together of like, okay, this would make sense in the intro. Okay, this is kind of like the deposition of like, all right, this is all the blah, 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 like background, what happened. I did this recently for the my Dreamville review, Dreamville Fest. Like, here's where like I give the scene setting shit. Here's where the performances come in. Like, but like I never write in chronological order ever. Like I can never write just like in order. Like it's always like me piecing shit together. Yeah. And I also think this is like to a fault I need to work on is like I write shit in like one long ass sitting, and then I'll like revisit, revise. I don't think I've ever really written something halfway, stopped, and then came back the next day. Like it wouldn't matter how late it is in the night, I would just write like
straight through. Yeah.
I'd have to complete the entire thing, and then once I have something, I'll go back, see what needs to change, see what needs to go, and sometimes I'll just rewrite the entire thing. But I just need to have something there. Because I'm super forgetful and I'm like so afraid of like forgetting shit. And like, especially like I'm literally like my notes app is fucking ridiculous because my notes app is just filled with like sentences, like phrases, titles. Like sometimes like I'll have a title and that'll guide it won't even end up being the final headline, but it'll guide how like literally the first time that the shit that I thought would be the headline that was actually the headline was for Dreamville Fest. It was Dreamville Fest 2022 was a family reunion. That's what I wrote before I had anything. That was the first thing before I even got there because I had a feeling that I was gonna be like that.
It's so hard to come up with headlines too,
bro.
It's hard.
That was the first time that a headline that I came up with was the headline. Like every time else, it would either be I couldn't think of one, or the editor would think of something that would make more sense with what I wrote. Headline writing is super hard. Like
it's hard.
That shit.
It's so hard.
Man,
so you can go clever, you can go just straightforward, you can go humorous.
Bro, it's difficult.
So many different angles you can take it, but it really does kind of outline what the writing is, but sometimes when you do the writing first, then you come up with the headline. It's so interesting. It's like sometimes I'll get the headline first, then do the writing, or I'll do the writing first, then I'll get the headline. And,
shit is difficult. By the way, I'm drunk.
Just
it's
okay. It's okay.
Had to let niggas know. This is straight of whatever this is. That is in my cup.
So
it's not that bad.
Wongo, what I asked before you dipped was what your writing process is like.
So I said the same shit.
I know mine has changed a lot, and for you two, who you guys write often, you have to do news writing, album reviews, interviews, essays, all that stuff. So like, what is your writing process like?
So to best speak to my writing process, I'll focus on album reviews. That's mostly what I do. So when I first started, it was very so I'll listen to the album just to get comfortable with it. And then probably for a day, I'll listen to it and I'll take notes for each song. Like whatever comes to mind sonically, conceptually, and just what I think they're trying to do. Because I think for album reviews, and this is something I think like a lot of people like should try and do a better job of, is taking a moment to understand at least what the artist is trying to accomplish.
Come on. Come on.
And not so much what you thought they should do for this specific project and how well they did what you thought they should do. Right. The artist doesn't know you. They don't care about you. So they may or may not achieve that goal. So just taking a moment to understand what they try to do, and then from then being like, okay, how well did they achieve that goal? So that's where the note-taking part for me came from. But as I wrote these reviews, they just were constructed the same. There was no like variety to it. And shout out to Phil.
Big Phil.
My guy Phil, who like one time told me, he was just like, you're kind of doing the same thing. Like, you go through this, you do this song, you talk about it, you go to the next song, talk about it, you go to the, and then you just like switch it up, spice it up. And that was when I realized that I was so like tethered to my process that I just only knew that process. So at that point, this is where I get into like chapter 2 of like my writing process. I just decided like, okay, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna do these notes no more. Like I'm gonna listen to these albums. If something comes to mind as I'm listening, I'll jot it down so I remember it. But that's what I started to do, and I did that for about a year, and just kind of went through it like that. And then recently, I went back to the note taking just because I started getting overwhelmed with the things that got to mind, and really just so it was just more of a way to like, okay, let me put these thoughts together. But since I'd practiced the variety aspect and just switching the flow and looking at it from different aspects for so long, like, it kind of ties together now. There might be a point where I might say fuck it again to the notes and just go off, just sit down and type some shit up. Which by all means, it doesn't happen quickly. Like this is like 3-4 hours. This takes a while, like type thing. So I'm not in there like Wayne just busting out 3 verses in 20 minutes and it's a wrap. No. This is hella long. But someone's calling. But yeah, so that at least now where I'm at with it is just back to the note taking, do a lot of note taking so that I at least take a moment to understand everything that an artist is trying to accomplish. But also giving myself the space to dive into that world and just wander and find some shit and then just write about it and not have it be the same starting and same end point. Because I don't ever want to bore a reader and where they're like, I know what he's gonna do. Like, I want you to come in.
I feel like
shit.
it's like an artist finding their sound. It's like y'all finding your voice, right? It's like, but you have to go through the chapter 1 of taking notes, song by song, almost methodical, right? You have to know how to set your feet before you take a shot. You know what I'm saying? You have to shoot an elbow jumper before you hitting 3. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like the fundamental stuff I kind of had to go through.
You passed that part to now saying, okay, now I'm making reads, essentially. You're making reads on, okay, I like this, boom, boom, boom. So it's natural. It's a part of the craft.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's good at the shit when they start out.
Oh yeah,
nobody. No. 2018 Armon, I thought I was him with music journalism. Yeah. Look at me 4 years later. 2018 Armon was trash compared
I don't read
to
my
the
shit
nigga I
from
am
back
now.
then.
I avoid it too. I avoid it too. Like there's a couple pieces I go back to because I'm like, damn, I really snapped. But for the most part, I cringe when I read my old shit. I'm just like, wow, I was really putting this out thinking it was premium content. Bro. Look at what I'm doing now.
Look at creative.
And I know 3 years from now, I'm gonna look at my shit now like, that fact was ass, and I'm him right now.
Bro, it's like who hired him? What
y'all do? Bro, what? Like, why did these niggas commission me?
Yeah,
I wasn't.
Niggas is crazy.
I'm just getting better. But so something that people ask me a lot is what my future plans are, because I'm a writer now, obviously, as young. And I tell them, I don't want to write forever. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I could do it forever, but I don't want to do it forever. Mm-hmm. Do y'all want to write forever?
You know, I like you just said, niggas get that question all the time of like, oh, so like once I tell someone I'm a writer, I'm like, okay, so like what's your plan? Like, what's like, okay, like where do you see this going? And honestly, you know, I love what I do. And I also love talking, as you would probably gather from this podcast.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
So, and honestly, and you know, and maybe this is cliche, but like, maybe not. I don't know. It's probably cliche in the journalism world. But like, I look at like someone like Elliot Wilson, right? Who's like a triple OG.
Him.
Who, him.
Absolutely.
Literally the Hove of journalism,
Absolutely.
basically. And like, the way his career has evolved from like being a writer to an editor-in-chief to founding a magazine to then founding a podcast and then kind of being this like mogul journalist, interviewer person, I think is like the most ideal, like if I were to have like a dream route to where I was going, it would be something like Elliot, where like at however old Elliot is now, I would still be able to, you know, talk about the shit that I care about and commentate on it in a meaningful way, in a way that people gave a fuck about, in a way that influenced the culture without, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't obviously see myself in 5-6 years being in the position that I'm in or doing the exact thing that I'm doing. But because of how unconventional this industry is and how like there's not like this Bloomberg, like these are the steps and hierarchies to become a CEO type of thing. It's very like weird and just random, I feel like, in some instances of like how you rise and your role changes. You know, I would hope to be like Elliot, basically. And if not, just kind of figure it out, you know, and figure out how and see how things change, because also this industry is ever evolving. 10 years ago, music journalism looked nothing like how it does today. So only God knows what it's gonna look like 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, and I just honestly hope that, I think in general I'm able to gain the skill set to adapt, because I think that's the most important thing about this industry is like Elliot started Rap Radar before podcasting and shit like that was even a thing for real. You know? So I think just kind of gaining the foresight of recognizing what the next thing is and understanding what skills I would need to be as involved as I want to be in the next thing is kind of how I hope my career evolves and how I evolve over time.
100%.
I guess. So your question, do I want to write forever? Yeah, I definitely do. I think I would absolutely want to write, you know, until I die. Do I want to write at the rate that I do now? Probably not.
Facts.
I think it'll definitely get to a point where I would like to cool it down. I think right now where I'm at is like I would love a life of just like profiling people. Like I really do enjoy. I know I said album reviews earlier, but I also do enjoy sitting down with people and like hearing about their life, but also trying to get the different, you know, things that they may not have talked about, and just really trying to complete the story and you know, detail things about a person that people may know or they may not know. So that is kind of my thing. But at the same time, I think at the end of the day, I want to be creative for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
And that might be through writing, that might be through maybe a podcast that I start at some point. You know, I know I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I really will not do shit if I don't think it's thought out perfectly and like every little thing. And I've been given advice over the years where it's like, shit ain't gonna be perfect until you start and see where you fucking up to be able to, you know, correct these things. But I know, like, just deep down, like that, for a lot of things, that's what holding me back. Like, admittedly, I'm not ashamed to admit that. But there are a lot of different avenues that I would love to go down, you know, in the future. And I know what I'm doing now is kind of opening the doors to be able to do that. So Yeah, I definitely want to write forever. Like, definitely, like, when I got like little kids running around the crib, like, yeah, I'm definitely still gonna be writing for sure.
Y'all be quiet. Sure. I gotta go write this.
Yeah. Y'all make it too much
daddy
noise. Like Lil Baby's 20th album came out. Like, let me get this shit off.
It's crazy. Imagine he made it to 20.
We're gonna see.
He be good. He's
Hope at 13. Stop it. Stop it.
Baby dropping at a
baby.
Baby got to do a 7-year run first.
Yeah, he probably will.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
Maybe not the greatest rapper breathing, but
he's not. He's not Nav. He's not.
See how you could just lie. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I want to be able to tell stories and also help artists. That might be a role that I'd like dive into. Like,
you do it already
from like a behind the scenes things type thing. I don't ever want it to be like. I'm okay with like if you win that Grammy, I don't got to be one of the niggas like standing on the stage with you. It's cool. Like I would love to just do the behind the scenes stuff, whether that's writing, whether that's something else that I take up. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Amazing. Well, brothers, I want to thank y'all so much for coming through to the Busyverse.
Man, thank you.
Shout out to the Terramana.
It's over already?
Yeah. I know. We could have went another hour, 2 hours. I know. This is big fun. What? Maybe we'll do a Twitter Spaces for y'all.
Might have to. There's a lot of gems in this convo.
Nah, we got to a lot, but we could have got to a lot more. So I want to thank Jordan and Wongo for joining us in the Busyverse.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that y'all subscribe. Tell them where to follow y'all. On social media.
You can follow me on Twitter at JRose the Return. That is JROSE the Return. And quick. It comes from D Rose the Return. If you ever were curious where my name came from, when D Rose first injured himself, D Rose is my favorite basketball player. First injured himself, he had a whole campaign called D Rose the Return.
That's fire.
To first come back. And that's when I made Twitter. It was like 2012, 2013.
Amazing.
And that's my GOAT. So that's on Twitter and Saints.Roze on Instagram. My last name is Rose, though, like the flower. Don't get it twisted.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wongus.
I'll make this shit real simple for y'all. It's Where's Wongo, Twitter and Instagram. The chain says so.
See you. Where's Waldo don't matter. It's Where's Wongo.
Fuck that nigga. Where's Waldo? But that's where it came from. High school, I was like, I need some fly shit for like my Twitter name, and I sat around, thought about it, and then Where's Waldo, and I was like, Where's Wongo? And it's been that ever since. But Where's Wongo? That's WHERES Wongo WONGO. Twitter, Instagram. What else I got that as? That's my email too. Y'all can send me some shit.
Don't tell them the email.
The email in the bio is fine.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they don't know the
pitch him, but don't DM. Don't DM. I hate getting DM music pitches.
Wait, who can't DM?
Artists.
Oh, yeah.
Women, you are free to DM.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get to my Hennessy story, but
the DMs is not shut down for everybody.
The Hennessy story for the off camera.
Oh my God, yeah. So thank you again to my brothers Wongo and Jordan for joining us. Thank you to my executive producer Nic Earley, as always, for being here with us. Hey. Gems on gems, writers, aspiring creatives. There's a lot to get from this conversation. Don't worry, the conversation will be continued with our brothers. But most importantly, we want you all to stay safe, stay humble, and stay busy.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.
Mondays 9 a.m. Party with the gang. Every week tell a friend. Busy over everything. Busy boys, gotta call now. Ain't you heard? Got the vibes. They put you on. Got the slides. I'm the SARS. When in doubt, no, we hold it down.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.